indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Approval of minutes of May. Are there any corrections or anybody have any changes?
No.
All right, make a motion that the minutes be approved. Second it? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next one is next month. Meeting was scheduled for the 13th, but we have a little problem, so we're going to move that meeting to July 20th. So next month's meeting will be July 20th on the Monday, same time, 7:30 here. Okay. We've got 3 public hearings, so what I'm going to do is going to hear the 2 applications first, because they go fairly quickly. First one is Michael and Ashley Ranch, 10 Nazareth Way. Okay. Mr. Weed, right?
Yes,
Okay, you're the architect?
I am.
Correct. Okay, I think I got an owner's, I got the owner's authorization form. Okay. I'm not going to go into this complicated. Just tell us, I guess there's, you're looking for just the one variance, correct?
That's correct. A very small variance in the back of the property, 3.5 feet, where the existing building is encroaching into the rear yard setback.
Okay. I pretty much got everything. I got your authorization, I got your, let's see, one mistake. You got to, on the original variance application, you didn't sign it and notarize it.
The owners, I believe, did.
Do you have that with you?
Let me just provide that here.
Huh? The one I have, this is on, where is it?
Okay.
10 Nazareth Way?
There are 2 owners, so there are 2.
I'm looking at the original variance application.
Yes, in the application, it was not signed, but they subsequently signed, and then we submitted, but here are copies of their signatures on the.
Which one is this?
So there are 2.
Oh, we just don't have it. Okay, sure. So, yeah.
It's later in the packet, I believe.
No, that's the authorization. I'm talking
Okay.
about, no, this is one here I don't have signed.
Right, in the application that I submitted, it wasn't signed in that one, but they submitted later in the application. There should be.
Okay, I just didn't get that one. Okay,
Yeah.
you got it. All right,
Great.
okay. All right, great. Okay, I didn't get the one. Okay, no problem. CO, I got the, let's see. I got our plans, I got the thing. I'm looking for the 5 factors. I'm pretty sure you did that. Deed, I got the deed. All right, it looks like everything's here. Anybody have any questions or anything, any missing or anything, or? No?
I just have
Go ahead.
one question, just to clarify. I see the denial letter from the code enforcement official references that the first floor addition is going to be 135 square feet, and the second story addition is going to be 228 square feet. But I see in the application materials that the entryway addition is actually going to be 118 square feet, and the second floor bedroom addition is going to be 186.
Yes.
So is 118 and 186, are those the correct numbers?
Those are correct numbers.
Okay.
Mr. Mano just rounded up on the dimensions.
Okay.
So, and that explains the difference
Okay.
between
Okay.
what he mentioned, yeah.
On this one, or, okay, I make a motion that the application is complete. Have a second? Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, you're all set, so it'll be, the public hearing will be July 20th.
The 20th.
And you know what happens, the letters go out to the neighbors and like that.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Understood. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, next one is Edward Hugh, 24 Grassy Lane. Hi. And you are?
I'm the architect.
Edward Hugh, okay. His application is, I'll read the denial letter. Application proposes a 7.5 by 24 foot and 35 by 5 by 12 L-shaped addition,
Right.
606 square feet, proposing a 3-foot yard setback where 10 foot is required. Okay, the application also proposes a larger 25% increase in floor area, where 25 would be the maximum. Okay, so you need several variances here.
Right.
You understand that, okay? So, like I said, this meeting is just to see that the application is complete, then we'll set you up for a public hearing. I see everything looks like it's here. Owner's consent form. You the architect?
I am.
Okay. You got the 5 factors, that, blah. Okay, I think you're all set, sir. First, going to make a, that is approved? Motion. You second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, you're all set. Next, July 20th. Next Monday. Okay. And then you'll be able to have to make a presentation. Right, okay? Okay. All right, public hearing. First one is Elizabeth Parks. Okay, this is, and you are?
I'm
You're Elizabeth Parks. You're the architect, correct?
And we do have the owners here today as
Hi.
well, Peter and Maya Hardigan.
Okay. I got your corrected application there, and I got your approval.
Okay.
Zone approval, so we're all set there on that end, okay? The application, I'll read you the denial letter. The application is for an 8-foot fence in front, side and sideline property. The application proposes a 6-foot wood fence on top of a 2-foot stone wall along the property line on Route 403. The application also proposes an 8-foot deer fence and a 2-foot extension to an existing 6-foot fence on the real property line. Lastly, the application also proposes a 2-foot extension to an existing 6-foot fence on the west side property line. The application does not comply with 17530H, so therefore you need the variance. I also got a letter from, in favor of this application. I'll read it. It's from Anita Prentice, President of the Board of Trustees for Desmond Fish Library. I guess this property borders the library at one point
On the west side.
on the right side.
Yeah.
Okay. I am Board President of Desmond Fish Library, located at 472 Route 403 in Garrison, New York. The letter is written in support of the project currently being undertaken by our neighbors to the east, Mr. Peter Hardigan, and install a deer fence 8 foot high around his property, part of which run along our common boundary. We have the opportunity to review Mr. Harrigan's plans for the fence designed by Ms. Elizabeth Parks, and we're in support of his fencing proposal. We believe the result will be an unobtrusive, very visible, useful fence. We believe it will serve as deterrent to children who might be tempted to leave our fenced-in play area and visit Mr. Hannigan's orchard. We appreciate the clearing of an old fence and tangled shrubbery. Mr. Hannigan has already undertaken our common boundary, already looks improved thanks to his efforts. Good fences make good neighbors, and as the saying goes, we're happy to support this good fence proposal. That's from the Anita Prentice Board of Trustees from Desmond Fish Library. Okay, that's good. Always good to have what is some neighbor wants it anyway. Before I go to the 5 factors, anybody have any questions on this to begin with?
Yeah, I
or-
do.
Go ahead.
What is the fence going to be made out of?
So along Route 403, the existing stone wall will stay in place and be repaired where needed, and a stockade fence will make up the rest of the 8-foot height.
Okay, on the rest of the property?
On the rest of the property, on the east and part of the north property line, so a side and a portion, there's an existing vertical metal fence, vertical bars that goes to, part of it is, that's chain link, that's 6 feet high. And so there's going to be a proposed 2-foot addition to that chain link fence. And
And that'll also be chain link, is that correct?
yes. And then the portion that is now barbed wire or miscellaneous would be replaced with a deer fence. Am I getting that mostly right?
Yeah, and we're gonna determine if the cost of,
You'll have to come up if you're going to speak. Just come up and introduce yourself so the people in TV land know who you are. Okay.
Peter Hardigan, nice to meet you all. So we're gonna assess if the cost of, uprooting the existing 6-foot fence and replacing it with a deer fence that looks like what we're gonna put on the property line of the library. So the library property line is very visible, and that's gonna be the sort of invisible deer fence, with sort of like the 2-inch mesh thing. And then the other side is chain link, and we're gonna see the feasibility of doing like the deer fence all the way around, if that looks better. And also, I'm not sure what it's gonna cost to add 2 feet to a 6-foot chain link fence.
Probably more than putting it.
Probably more than putting in a new fence. So the request is just to add the height, because it's already 6 feet there. And then again, along 403, our neighbors have the same setup with the stone and the stockade. So we're just intending to match that on our side.
Would you be okay with the condition that it be I don't know what to call it, but a fence that is not like a stockade where air goes through like chain link or deer fence?
On 403?
Or the west side and the north side, not 403.
Oh, well, it will be that, for sure, yes. That's not going to be a stockade fence. That's going to be a chain link or transparent fence, for sure,
Yeah,
yes.
just wanted to,
Yeah, no problem.
okay. That's the only question I have.
Somebody else?
So just to clarify, in terms of the type of fencing, on the front of the property, you're proposing a stockade fence addition, correct? And on the remaining portions of the property, the side and rear, you're proposing a combination of chain link and deer fencing. Is that accurate?
So like on the side that faces the Whitney's property, which is, I think, to the west, that is existing chain link, and we would do, that's east, sorry, thank you. So that's chain link, and we would either do chain link or deer fence there. On the back of the property, that's like the Lamonicos and the Hanslers, that would be chain link. It's chain link now, and we would do chain link or deer fence. And then the line for the library, there really isn't much of anything there now, but there was a barbed wire fence, and that's going to be the deer fence, the transparent deer fence. And then
So-
along 403 is the stone and stockade. That's the proposal.
So not to confuse it too much, it would be on the front, it's going to be a stockade fence.
Yep.
On the east side of the property, it would be chain,
Yes.
correct? Rear would be chain,
Yes,
and west side of the property would be deer fencing.
yes.
Okay.
We got that all straight?
I think so.
Okay. I'm going to go over the 5 factors. I'll go over with you. I'll go to 5 factors, so that you should want to fill it out, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. We'll use this to try and determine the variance. First question is, will an undesirable change be produced in the character of the neighborhood, or will a detriment to nearby properties be created by granting of the area variance? No, there's an 8-foot fence in front of it will be visible, consistent the existing fences at the neighbors' properties. Yeah, I know that there are fences in the area that are, that are 8 feet high, so I understand that. Is required variance substantial? Variance to the front is substantial, 8 foot requested, 4 foot allowed, but consistent with the neighboring properties. And there again, I agree with you that most of the properties along that in Route 9D, they'll have that 8-foot fence.
It's so, on 403 there's so much traffic, and this particular house, because it was a barn way back when, is quite close.
Right. Okay. Will the proposed variance have an adverse effect or impact on the physical environmental conditions in the neighborhood? No, the additional height requested will only affect the activity of deer Shadows cast by the front fence will fall on the property. And you got your neighbors all in favor of the next fish library, so that helps you out a lot.
That's certainly the most visible, most visible to the neighbors,
Right.
because the other properties on the east, that runs along the driveway, and then at the north, there's a buffer of property to the next house.
Okay. Is the alleged difficulty self-created? Yes. Well, you're one of the few to answer the question honestly, to tell you the truth. Everybody says no. Because it is self-created, yeah, but therefore the side property lines at the front. Property to the road is pre-existing under which the proposed fence will be gone. Anybody have any questions? Any other questions? Anybody on this? All right. I'm going to ask for a roll call vote on the very. Close the public hearing? Before the vote? Okay, I'll close the public hearing. Make a motion?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that's done. Now, vote.
Okay, I vote in favor
Vote
of
in
the
favor.
conditions.
I
that
vote-
the
I vote to
homeowners,
approve.
Favor?
I vote to approve.
Granted? Vote to approve, and I vote to approve. Okay, you're all set.
Thank you very much.
Let me sign you, hold on now. I'm going to sign you a form here, and okay, you'll be able to go tomorrow and get your permit.
Okay.
You're all set with that, okay? Give that to the building inspector.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
I am,
Yeah, she's the architect, right?
yes, that's
Correct.
right.
Okay. Let's get rid of that one. Next one is. Oh, good night now, thank you.
Make it carpeting or whatever.
We have Uri and Angela Attia, I guess, 2785 Route 9.
Just need to fire this up.
Hi, how we doing? Let me read you're the architect, correct?
Yes,
Justin? How do you pronounce your last name again?
Caker.
Caker.
Yeah, Justin Caker from Highlands Architecture.
Caker, okay. Let me read the denial letter. The application proposes, oh, wait, hold on. Oh, yeah, is that the same one, deck? Yeah, application proposes a deck partly within the northern, not the wrong one. Oh, it's two, okay, that's two, there's two letters here. The applicant proposes a deck partly within the required north side yard setback. The applicant proposes a 45.33 setback where 50 foot is required. And the second denial letter is the application proposes a 1,550 square foot detached garage within the required setback. As per chapter 17510, the proposed garage exceeds a maximum allowance of 1,000 square feet by 550 square feet. Also proposes a 22 by 84, 22.84 setback where 50 foot is required. You want to give us a little idea what you're doing here?
Yes. So, my name is Justin Caker from Highlands Architecture. The first thing is, we did get our client to notarize the agent letter. Got that? Okay. So, what we have is a 2.4 acre site. It is a flag lot. So the shape of it, you've been there and seen the
Yeah,
shape in the driveway?
beginning, a couple of weeks ago myself, I met with Justin and Councilman Prentice, and we did a site inspection of it, so I
Yes.
got an idea of what you're talking about.
So it's a flag lot, 2.4 acres. Flag lots have more significant setbacks, 50-foot setbacks all around. There's an existing single-family residence, which you can see on that, which is shaded and hatched in tan. And the green that you see are the new proposed construction. So on the very top, there is a deck, and a small triangulated portion of the deck is projecting into the setback area. There's a screen porch, no issues there with zoning. And then we have an accessory structure, detached, It's a multifunctional structure. It houses a 2-bay garage, a little music room, and a gym, and a deck. The building itself, so we're seeking 2 variances for that building. One is for the size of it. It's a little over 1,500 square feet. It's 1,504. It's 22 feet wide by 70 feet long. It's 2 stories in places. Above the garage, we have storage area, and the gym is a 2-story area. The height of it, the maximum height, we took an average around the building, is 24.8 feet. And at the front of that building, where the garage doors are, is about 19 feet tall. It's a modern design, flat roof. The positioning of the building was sort of governed by several factors. The septic field, the wetlands buffer, the existing driveway coming down so you can easily pull into the garage and back out of it into a hammerhead and drive back out. And of course, you know, just the overall shape of the property and the fact that the house is already pre-existing non-conforming, so the front of the house is already in that front area setback. So we played around with where the building would go. Yes, it is indeed located in the setback area, but we try to keep it as close as possible to the house. And we have the civil engineer who has designed what's referred to as a septic repair. And that is, because we don't really know exactly where the septic is in the ground, abandoning the lower septic laterals, the pipes in the ground, and then moving them to the north so that we can actually get the building closer to the house. So that's how we ended up with the positioning of the building.
Floor plan?
Yes, absolutely, yep. Where are we? Yeah, here are the floor plans. You can see the first floor or ground level is at the top. And then the lower plan on the right is the storage above the garage. That has a door to the outside and goes up a stair to the storage area. And then you can see the upper part of the exercise room, which they wanted to be a taller height with a beam running through to have like ropes hanging down from them. So you can really get a lot of use out of that gym. And there is a deck. The deck is... The deck is 280 square feet. So the building itself is 1,504. The garage is 550 square feet. It's a pretty small 2-car garage there. Music room is 450 square feet, and the exercise room is 495 square feet. And the building location was really sort of governed by, as I already mentioned, the driveway, septic laterals, the wetlands buffer, flag lot, 50-foot setbacks, which really kind of hem us into a limited area to place the building.
Give me a front view of the building?
Yep. So the front is on the bottom there, the 2-bay garage. Yep.
Property goes down, you know.
Yeah, it's a relatively gentle slope. The driveway pitches down, and then where they park right now is relatively flat.
Right.
And then it drops off a little. There's some, brush and stuff down there right now.
It's a slope, it's not really steep, but it's a slope.
It's not a steep slope, no.
Okay.
And we did take the average all the way around with the average grade to average out the maximum height as the definition is in the code.
Being a flag lot, it sets back pretty far off from the road, from...
Yes, the driveway is quite a distance off of Route 9, yeah.
Anybody have any questions on this, or anything else, or want to look any further?
I just have a quick question. I just want to clarify the detached garage, the way it was written up, is it 1,550 feet? Is that the square footage of the detached garage?
That was the original rounded up number, but it's actually 1504 for the building.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's smaller than what was written up.
Correct.
And
Yes.
the rear deck is 280 square feet?
Yes, it's 279, actually. So when we do it on the computer, you can get like really super accurate with the square footage, but yeah, it's 280.
But
280,
just
yeah.
for accuracy, in
Yeah.
the resolution,
Yeah.
it would reference a detached garage that's 1,504 feet and a rear deck that's 280 square feet.
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct. That is correct.
All right, so we're talking about a variance for the deck, correct?
Yeah, variance for the deck
The
on the
setback.
north,
The
for the setback, yes.
Setback for that.
Yeah,
And then you need variance for the
for the size and the
size
location of the
the
accessory structures.
garage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you need, what's the size of the garage is one,
Yes,
and then you need another setback there, right?
yes.
So you're talking about three.
Three
variances,
variances
three
total, yeah.
variances Like that, okay. And that setback is 22.84 setback where 50 foot is required. That's for the garage area.
Yes, for the
right?
garage it is. That's
Okay.
the, yeah.
Anybody have any questions on this or anything? Go ahead.
What kind of utilities are in the accessory structure? Electricity and water?
There will be water. There's a little powder room in there.
And it
in the
has
music
heat in
room.
it?
It will be conditioned and fully insulated.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Does it have its own septic, or is it attached?
That's why we had the septic repair, so we talked to the civil engineers about just putting a powder room in, not a kitchen or a bedroom or a bathroom. So the quantities will work with what's already there, according to the civil engineers.
You're not actually having a bedroom,
No,
so you're just having space.
no, yeah, no bedrooms, no.
There'll be nobody living in it as well.
No, correct.
There'll be
No, this
there'll
is,
be no-
this is,
It's just,
accessory to the principal use as a, there's a single-family residence, and this is just an
a
ancillary.
music room and an exercise room.
Yes, and a
Basic
garage
and a
and
garage,
storage.
yeah.
Can I just ask a question? Why didn't you attach the music in the exercise room to the main house?
Our client already has a music room in the house, and I think his wife wants him out of the house, so, to sort of get him out of that space in the basement. So right now, he just has all his equipment there, so he wanted kind of his own building, which we're going to heavily insulate and, soundproof.
Wanted the band out of the house, that was.
I think that has a lot to do with it, but it also frees up the downstairs space for other uses that they don't want to be the music in the house.
All right.
Bob, you visited the lot.
Yes.
And so it's set well off the street.
No, it's,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's got to be 200 feet, 300 feet?
At least, yeah, I mean,
Like,
the
at least 300 or 400
survey,
feet, I guess. It's a flag lot.
Yeah.
And another thing too, it's in a commercial area. So I'm not
Yeah,
even
it's a-
sure how this property is,
it is a highway commercial district, and when you look in the zoning, you can actually put a non-residential structure on the HC lots that are like 400,000 square feet, or, no, 40,000 square feet, sorry.
it's a crazy setup there.
Yeah, I think that I have that listed on the site plan, under the zoning on the
Yeah,
top.
right. Right. And I looked, there's nobody around. There's one house, which is the house would be in front of it, on the street. But you really can't, there's a lot of trees there, so there's no real,
Yeah, there's quite the buffer between the residential property on the Route 9 side and them. And it does say in the zoning there, so it's 40,000 square foot maximum non-residential structure for HC district properties.
Well, we're not giving you 40,000
No,
square
I know.
feet. Okay, just to
I know,
make
just-
sure.
Just saying, as far as,
That's a
Yeah.
good pitch, but it's not going to
Yeah,
work there. Okay.
that was my desperation pitch.
One more question.
Yep.
The garages are not going to be conditioned, are they?
No, the garage won't be, or the storage, but the music room and the exercise room will be. There was one thing, our client asked that I take that back, the storage up above the garage, we want to insulate and condition for dehumidification for some of the valuable things that he has, family heirlooms and such, that he doesn't want to get ruined by moisture.
Can I ask you a hard question, because it just came to my head. the conditioned space is how many square feet estimate? Because I know you,
Yeah, so the gym, the exercise room is 495, so 500. And the music room is 450, so that's 950. The garage won't be. So about, I'd say 1,000 just to be on the conservative side of conditioned, and then light conditioning for the storage above the garage. You know, not fully heated and air conditioned, more dehumidification in that space. But the music room, I don't believe will be used as often as the exercise room. So in the winter, if they're in there working out in the exercise room, then we'll probably be using like ductless mini splits for the conditioning of those spaces, so they can easily, with a remote control those spaces individually when they're occupied. Yeah, and keeping them on a low setting when they're not.
Okay. It's a public hearing. Is anybody here would like to speak onto this? No, Garrison, okay. At this time, I'm going to go over the 5 factors here. Question number 1, will an understandable change be produced in the character of the neighborhood? Or will a detriment to a nearby property be created by granting the area variance? No, we believe the location, scale, proportion, and character of the new proposed accessory structure will be an appropriate addition to the neighborhood. As far as neighbors, I only see one house in the front, which is that the house would be on Route 9.
Yes.
And that pretty much is a big line of trees there that would block any vision that anybody could see. And there's no neighbor here complaining on that, so I don't see any issues there. Number 2, can the benefits be sought by achieved by some other method feasible to pursue other than the area variance? No, we have explored other scenarios, and this design solution is our best option, which suits the owner's needs and works very well with the existing conditions. Yeah, the property is a little tough to work with because of where the house is and where the septic's got to go and all like that. There's not too much of an area there that you could put this in.
Yeah.
I agree with you there. Is the requested variance substantial? Yes. Due to the size and location of new structure, no for the spa deck. Okay. The structure, yes, I understand that it is over the 1,000-foot. Number 4, will the proposed variance have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood? No, no close neighbors, buildings to the south, good size, proportion, height, and spacing distance separation from adjusting structures, not in a wetlands buffer. I could say I did a site inspection, so I agree with you 100% on that. Is the alleged difficulty self-created? No. It's a yes. Okay, so I mean, I know that's it's not a trick question.
Toward the bottom of the paragraph that I wrote, I said,
You changed it?
however,
However, I'll read it.
may be considered self-created based on the owner's programmatic requirements. So
Right, okay, yeah.
I'm kind of
And-
meeting you halfway there with a
Maybe
yes and no.
maybe considered self-praise. So you met me halfway. Okay, right, because, all you do, don't do it. Self-created. I mean, it's simple as that. So that answers that. Anybody have any questions on this further, on anything, any questions? No?
No.
Everybody good? Good? Okay. I make a motion that we close the public hearing.
I'll second that.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, take a roll call vote. Mr. Sassone?
Initially, I was concerned because an accessory building with something over 1,000 square feet smells like an accessory apartment. Maybe not for the current homeowner, but you have to take into account that you sell the house, the variance goes with the house, not with the homeowner.
Yes.
So you have to think past that. But with the limitations that we discussed, I vote in favor.
Janice?
I have seen that property in the past. I pretty much understand what you're doing and why, and I approve.
I vote to approve.
Well, like I said, I did a site inspection there with you and with Councilman Prentice, so I know exactly what you're doing there. So I approve also. So you're all set.
Thank you.
Okay, let me sign your, I know you're not ready to start building, but I'll give you the,
Yeah, we have to do our construction drawings now.
there's your approval.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You all set? All right, moving along here. Number 3, this is Scott Anderson, 35 Mountain Drive. And you are? You're Mr. Anderson?
Hinchcliffe.
Okay.
Yeah, the applicant and the architect.
Okay, yeah, okay. The application proposes a 24 by 16-foot porch and deck extension, 384 square feet, and proposing a 24-yard setback where 30 feet is required. This proposal does not comply with the Town of Philipstown dimensional table found in Chapter 175. The building permit is denied. So you're looking for the one variance, correct?
Exactly.
The one variance would be for proposing a 25 setback where 30 foot is required. Okay, do you have a deck there now?
There is a deck there now. We're
There's a deck
building on
there
the
now.
same footprint as the
Okay,
existing
why are you
deck.
extending it?
We're only extending a little bit to the north, which is away
There's a
from
deck here?
the setback. Yeah, you can see here.
I'm sorry?
I'll show you now on the screen. If we go up one slide, you can see the existing plan, so the other direction.
How big is the deck now is my question.
About 13 by 13.
13
And
by
we're
13.
doing exactly the same thing as enclosed area, as a sunroom, on that exact same footprint, and then adding about a 6-foot wide covered porch on the north face of that. So we haven't increased the setback encroachment.
So it's going to be enclosed?
It'll be enclosed, that, yeah. The 13 by 13 volume will be enclosed with glass.
Are those windows there?
Windows, yes, like a
It's not really a deck, it's an extension to your house.
the existing structure is a deck, and the proposed structure replacing it is a sunroom.
All right, so just so I get my head straight here, you have a deck there now.
There's a deck
Is
there.
that deck enclosed?
That deck is not
It's just
enclosed.
an open deck, 13 by 13.
Correct.
Now you want to put this in, and you want to enclose it.
Yes.
Okay, you're going to heat it,
No, unconditioned.
but you can heat it at any given time if you wanted to.
I suppose we could. But it's more like a screen porch that has glass windows that we can seal off in
Right.
the winter to make it a sunroom.
Well, see, you see, what concerns me a little bit, the way you're coming off from the roof, you're putting the roof on top of it, roof line, right? So, me, I don't know if you have the wrong application, is what I'm trying to say. That's my question, because you got roof, you got windows, looks more like an addition to me, unless I'm looking at it differently. Anybody have any different opinion?
It's not, I mean, the walls aren't insulated,
Huh?
are they?
No.
The walls are not insulated, although it could easily be.
Could easily be
insulated.
insulated.
Insulated after the fact.
Yeah, but you could add many splits, which is not dramatic, but if you're talking about it just being the wrong application, then that's,
Well,
Yeah.
that's just my question. What do you think?
Yeah, well, either way, whether it's an expansion of a deck or putting on an addition that's enclosed, it's the same variance. That they need 30 and side yard setback, and they're proposing 24 feet, 11 inches.
Right.
So it's reducing the side yard setback by about 6 feet.
Right. I just, my concern is that, we're reading it here as an extension of an existing deck, which is not really. It's an extension of we put a roof on it.
Does it have?
Just posts in concrete footings. It's not a continuous strip footing. I thought it was just filed as an extension,
Barrier underneath the structure?
just for the crawl space, yes, yeah.
so that does keep it pretty raw.
Huh?
That does keep it pretty raw.
Yeah, I just, I'm just looking at it from my point of view, that I wish I had been worded differently than a deck, because it's not really an extension of a deck.
It's a
closed-in-
sunroom.
It's a closed-in, it's got a roof, it's gonna put a roof on it, windows and everything else like that. I'm sure it's gonna be insulated, correct?
We hadn't planned to insulate the addition.
So it's a 3-season room?
Yeah. I thought we'd filed it as alteration slash extension. I didn't know there was a specific deck application. I don't think it's been filed as a deck.
I mean, either way, it's request for a side yard setback. I mean, what you're proposing is indicated in the plans.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just going by the denial letter. Denial letter says it's an extension of a deck, and it's not an extension of a deck.
Well, it was denied because of the setback, whether it's a deck or in addition, it's an insufficient side yard setback, so it doesn't, the plans are the plans. They're- I mean, at best, I guess the denial letter inartfully described what the addition is, but the denial was because of an insufficient side yard setback, so. Even if there was nothing there and you're proposing something in addition to the house, it's still the same side yard setback.
Right.
And that only occurs because we're built pre-zoning, and it's an
Okay.
extraordinary narrow lot.
You're the property owner, correct?
No, I'm the architect.
You're the architect?
Yes, the property owner is here tonight, Scott.
Property owner's here. Can I speak to the property owner? Can he come up, please?
Of course.
And you, Mr. Anderson?
I'm Mr. Anderson. yes.
Okay. And you are
Mark Hinchcliffe.
Mark Kincliffe? Okay, good. Okay, you're the architect, okay.
The name of the architect, I'm sorry, just,
Hinchcliffe, Hinch, Cliff.
and your first name?
Mark with a K, the main architect.
Okay.
What I said here?
Yeah.
You know, I understand what the attorney is saying. It still would be the same thing, and I agree with him. And it would be the same thing with the thing, but the way my letter over here is, it's a deck. It was a deck, and now you're enclosing it with windows and a roof. So it's not a deck anymore, to me. That's just my concern, okay? Nobody else has a concern with, so you're probably okay. Is there anybody else in this, want to talk about this or speak to this? Okay, fine. All right, at this point in time, I'm going to go over the 5 factors. Who answered the questions? Okay. Mr. Ancliffe, would undesirable change be produced in the character of the neighborhood, or will a detriment to nearby properties be created by granting of the area variance? You says no impact. Why no impact? You want to go closer to the microphone?
There's no additional overlooking, overshadowing. We're not blocking anybody's views. It's not
Right.
even visible from the street,
Right.
from the front elevation.
How close is the closest neighbor?
50 plus feet, more.
It's good, well, more to their house, the closest one would be the garage. that's
Yeah,
on the other side.
to the
So
back
it's
of the
probably
garage.
100
Yeah.
Gotta be at least 100 feet to the
Okay.
neighboring house.
Well, the letters went out, and I guess if the neighbor had any complaints, or they would be here.
Right.
If they had any concern or something like that, they would be here to ask questions about it. You know what I'm trying to say? All right. Can the benefit sought be achieved by some method feasible to sue other than the area variance? No feasible way to connect the rear addition. See, now, you're answering the question here. I'm talking about a deck, and you're saying no feasible way to connect the rear addition to an existing house. That's what it is. It's it's an addition to an existing house, other than the existing porch door. Okay. Is the require area variance substantial? No. 24, where 30 foot is required. So how many feet? So you're asking for 24 feet? Is that what you're asking for?
Just a 6 foot
feet,
encroachment,
six
so
foot,
20% or
Okay,
something.
well, that's not a lot, okay, right. Will the proposed variance have an ill effect or impact on the physical environmental conditions in the neighborhood? No impact. Is the alleged difficulty self-created? No, it is self-created, okay? Because you already had a deck there, you already got a place to go out and sit, so you don't need it. So you're doing it because you want to do it. You understand what I'm trying to say? So it is
Okay.
self-created. You know, you're saying existing conditions limit opportunities to expand the dwelling within the zoning setbacks, right? But you already have a deck. You've already been out there barbecuing on your deck and enjoying your deck. Now you want to make it bigger and enclose it in with a roof and everything else like that. So yes, you're creating it. The town didn't create it. Okay. Is there anybody in town who would like to speak to this or anything? No? Okay.
I do think you ought to, let's just make sure we remember what the rendering is.
Is this an impression, or is this the actual photo of the house?
No, this is an
It's an
artist.
artist impression.
Artisan,
Yeah,
this is your
yeah.
rendition, right?
Yeah, it's, created in the computer.
Right. Do you have a photo of the house or anything? No. A
can
photo of
see-
the house itself, I'm saying,
No, I
existing
mean,
house.
You have to use your imagination, I guess, a bit
Not
with
use
this.
imagination.
Yeah,
It's
the
pretty
white
modest.
wall in the background, the black
I don't know
roof,
if that's
that's
the
the
house.
existing house.
I'm trying to say, he's making his, I don't know if he's
I
just
do
making his up.
Oh, but it cost you money to make this up.
Well,
So it costs you plenty of money to get
Yeah,
the rendering, so
yeah.
that,
Yeah.
And these are,
He might be able to have
right.
Huh?
picture on his
These
phone.
are the lots,
Yeah.
I'm sure you would.
right, so
Well, the neighbors are close.
it's a modest house.
Right, okay.
Just wanted to, put something reality to it, because, you're gonna pay for this, so it's not gonna be something else.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Would you like to see photographs?
I'm sorry?
The existing rear elevation
Oh, okay.
from that same angle.
Oh, I see, that deck is a little wood, the wooden deck.
Yeah, there it is.
Now I got his Christmas pictures.
Bob, you're messing it up.
Now I
Oh,
got
my
his Christmas
God.
pictures. Give me the picture again, I'm back to Christmas pictures. I always do that with the phone. Every time I do it with the phone, I lose the pictures all the time.
It's a modest house.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's like your deck, you can only use it for a couple months. You make it that, and you can use it
Right.
for most of the year.
I know, I just,
We do have someone who would
all
like
right,
to
somebody got a hand
ask a
raised.
question.
Yes, speak up. You have to stand up.
Here's your phone back.
Tell us who you are.
Hi, everybody. The fact that it's not insulated, it just tells you it's a choice, and it's going to be used like seasonal, and it's something that they want to do. It takes money even to hire somebody, so it shouldn't be a concern. If you go and do a visit like to approve, and then you see like it's heated and it's padded, then that's a different issue. So I think
It can be.
it could be, if
That's
they
all-
wanted
That's
to.
what we have to look for. We have to look for down
So
the
I
road.
think it's not like necessarily adding, making it bigger, but it's
Right.
kind of, a comfort, and the mosquitoes that we have around here.
Putting the
I'm
roof on is what concerns me.
Oh,
Because
the
the roof is attached
roof
to the house.
as
You
well
understand?
as the
There's a
windows.
We have a deck before, now we got a room.
Right, I mean,
That's
I
my
would put a
concern.
roof because of all the mosquitoes. I'm
If
allergic
it
to
come to me in a
mosquitoes.
different way, I would understand it. I would just, I'd rather come to it that was an addition to the house.
I'm just coming to reassure you that this, based on everything that's been described, it's not necessarily a concern. It's more like taste level, and if you want to invest, the owner of the property wants to invest in putting a roof, and perhaps use the wrong terminology, but he's clarifying with the architect what it is that they really want to do. And to me, as a bystander, I don't see them be concerned, but, whatever needs to be filled out, if that's the case, I'm sure they'll be willing to do so. So, I mean, now they know that they could insulate it too, so, hey, thank you for it.
Can you just, maybe I missed it, can you just identify your name for the record? I'm not sure.
Oh, sure, my name is Mackie Rondon, and coming to the
Your
meetings.
first name is?
Mackie.
M-A-C-K?
M-A-C-K-I-E, and the
Your
legal.
last name is?
Rondon, R-O-N-D-O-N, like London.
R-O-N-D-E-N?
D-O-N, like London, but with an R.
Okay, and
An
do you
official
reside at 35 Mountain Drive? Or
No, I live in Nelsonville. I
are you
come
a
to them.
neighbor?
I'm not concerned. I'm not a neighbor. I mean,
Concerned.
I'm a community member.
Oh, okay.
So I been attending all the meetings, literally, for over a year now
We invite
to
everybody-
understand
invite everybody to
what we
speak.
need and all that stuff.
Okay.
So,
We invite everybody to speak here. Thank you very much.
thank you so much.
Okay. Any other questions for anybody on the board?
I just had a quick question just for accuracy. Mr. Anderson? Yeah, what year did you acquire the property?
98, I believe it is.
Okay,
Oh, Mike.
1998?
Just say it to the microphone.
Okay. All right.
Anybody have any other questions? Any more questions on it like that? At this time, I think, just time to close it. Anybody want to speak? That's it? Okay, at this time, I make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, going to take a roll call vote. Granite?
I vote to approve.
Janice?
I approve.
Mr. Sistone?
I vote to deny.
Did I tell you the truth, I have to deny, because if it had come to me in a different form, that it was an extension to the house, an accessory to the house, I would understand it. Because what I'm looking at here is, that's a nice rendition, but looking at the picture, we go back to the original one with a roof and the sides and windows and everything else like that, and you're gonna have sheetrock in there. If you're gonna put sheetrock in, you're definitely gonna put insulation in. It would,
Well, I have a question, Bob.
sure.
Who writes this? Wasn't this from,
That's the,
this is from
well,
code
this was
enforcement.
James Mano, was Deputy Code Enforcement Officer.
So he made that description,
Right.
not them.
Yeah, but that's his denial letter.
What's your point?
My point is that perhaps he just described it incorrectly, and now they're being.
It's a set of plans that we're looking at.
Right, we have the plans.
Yeah, I know. I
Gotta show what
understand
they're
that.
building.
Yeah.
But to me, it's not a.
So like, that's what they're asking for.
I
It's
made
not,
my vote, no.
Yeah,
So,
that's fine.
so it's tied?
So what do you do with the
What do I
tile?
know?
Do you want, just to throw it out there, I think it might be appropriate to go into closed session to confer with counsel, if that's okay?
Okay.
Can I say one thing briefly before we do that?
I'm sorry?
Can I say one thing briefly?
Yeah, sure.
What does it say on our application form?
Our application form.
In our words, not in Mr. Mano's words.
Okay, and the one you originally filled out, correct?
What's the
The
project
variance
the
application?
project description?
I'm looking at it, hold on.
'Cause I don't
Let me
think we
get
would
it.
have used the word deck to describe it.
Let's see. Properly located. An addition of a screened porch, unconditioned, and covered deck to replace existing deck. So it's not, even in your own, in the variance here, what you're saying is it's an addition of a screened porch, unconditioned. What do you mean by unconditioned?
No air conditioning system.
I'm sorry?
No air conditioning or
No air
heating.
conditioning. Oh,
That's
okay,
right.
fine. No air conditioning.
Yeah,
And
our
covered
own-
deck to replace existing deck.
Yes. Yeah, we're not applying for a deck.
Yeah,
We're applying for a screened
I'm
porch.
just, like I said,
Well, that seems to be exactly what we're seeing, though. We're seeing a screen porch with a covered screen porch
Right.
with a little deck that has a roof over it,
Right.
and it is replacing an open deck. That seems to me to fit.
correct, well,
I'll make a motion.
Yeah, we should go in closed
Wanna
session.
go?
Okay,
Yeah,
sure.
we'll do that.
we're gonna go into,
Yes, I'll-
talk to the lawyer.
So,
Okay.
you make the
I'll be back
motion?
out.
I made a motion.
Okay, I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Here's what we're gonna do, okay? Ho! Let's not get rowdy here, huh? All right. First, I'll make a motion to reopen the public hearing.
I'll move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The next motion is gonna be, we're gonna vacate the two vote. Vacate the vote. I mean, there's gonna be no vote, okay? Make a motion to do that.
I'll second.
Okay. Then I'm gonna make a motion that we're gonna continue the public hearing that we have here now to next month. Next month is July 20th, okay? And,
I have to second that motion, though.
you second the motion?
Yeah, I second the motion.
All in favor? Okay. And then what I want you to do is request you submit an application that you're looking for an addition to the house, not a deck. This is not a deck. This is an addition. This is a roof, this is windows, I mean, you don't have it here, but the one you had before and everything else like that. So go to the building inspector and tell them we're not happy with that. Well, if we vote on 2-2, it means you get denied. Okay? So, I mean, we don't want to do that. We want to clear it up. Now, if you want to do that, fine. If you don't want to do that, that's up to you.
No, I mean, we don't want you to deny it, of course.
I'm sorry?
We're just a bit confused because our application
Okay,
sought
well, your
an
application,
addition.
your application says, you did the application. You made it out and everything else like that, okay? You're basically saying that you want to enlarge the deck.
But that's not the terminology I used on the...
I'm sorry?
That's not the terminology I used on the application form, though. The project description was a screened porch
You
with
seek a
deck.
variance, right, to reduce the side setback requirement for a porch, addition from 30 feet to 24 feet. Variances to a regular site. Proposed encroachment is less than that of the existing house, and so on, which setback 2111 by 23.4. The proposed addition is entry to the rear of the existing house and visible on the front elevation. Now, you're saying we seek a variance to reduce the side setback requirement for a porch addition, right? You're not a deck addition, porch addition. A porch addition is a complete different from a deck, and the way you have the windows and everything else like that, well, you can do what you want. You want to go with the 2-2 vote, that's up to you. Or what I'm trying to say is this is an addition to the house. This is not, several members are different, have a different opinion, so if it comes to a tie, and a tie means that you lose, basically, that the application is denied. I'm trying to give you a chance to correct it, or not correct it, or come out with a different requirement. What I mean by that is that it's not an addition to the deck. You're taking the deck down, correct?
We're removing
You're
the
tearing
deck entirely.
You're removing the
Absolutely.
deck entirely?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what we said on the building permit
I
application
understand
form.
what you said. I
Quite
agree with
clearly.
you. But the building inspector comes out and he says it's existing deck, he wants an extension to the deck. You're putting in a roof. You're going to go into the roof of the house, right? You have to take a portion of the existing roof out, correct?
We're going over the top of the
Right, to
existing.
connect
but
to a roof?
We're connecting into the
Okay.
existing roof.
You're going to put windows,
Yes.
right? What kind of windows? Going to be winter, you could spend winter out there, okay? You're going to put sheetrock up, correct?
There are
Inside?
linings, yes.
Okay, you're going to put sheetrock up, you're going to put insulation.
Yes. Maybe, yeah.
Maybe. Don't
It's
do
an
some maybe.
addition.
You
yeah.
understand? It's either yes or a no, okay? Now, I can't have the building inspector go out and say, well, oh, you didn't put insulation, or you didn't put insulation. This is an accessory to your house. It's not a deck. That's the opinion of several members.
We understand, and we had applied for an addition to the house. That's what we wrote on our building application
You apply
form.
for an addition?
An addition. That's what it says on the description of the building application. We said we want a screened porch with an adjacent covered deck.
Well, it doesn't come out that way. You
Maybe the
understand?
zoning denial letter used the wrong terminology, but we're not trying to obfuscate this. We're
Well,
not trying to cheat and say, okay, we're building a deck and then later on we'll turn it into a room. We're being
understand.
very honest about
It's
what
not a deck.
we're asking for. Not a deck at all. It's a screened porch.
Right, but that's why should say addition to a deck, is what I'm trying to explain to you.
You're putting windows in, you're putting insulation in, you're putting sheetrock.
It's not a screen porch. You put, like I said, you put sheetrock in, you're gonna put insulation in, you got windows and all like that. It can easily be made a room.
Okay.
Correct.
So I think if we come to the next meeting and adjust some of what you're,
You want to make it a room, you want to put heating in there, if you want to, put everything in there, fine. That's not a problem. Okay, because we're talking about the 6 foot, extent, that's what you need. You
That's
need
the
like
6 foot
6
thing.
foot, so I
Right,
understand
regardless
that.
of the
But if you
room
wanted to make that a room, I don't think there'd be a problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But to make it say you're going to make a larger deck, you're not making a larger deck. Now, I'm not gonna argue with you, you know, I'm just trying to say, you heard the vote, okay? Now, you can get one of two things, you can go with the vote, or you can go back and change it, or whatever you want to do. It's up to you, it's up to you guys.
I have a question for you. Do you understand what we're asking for, or is this totally confusing you?
No, it sounds like it's an issue of semantics, and you want all of the application forms and related documentation updated to reflect the terminology that we need to be using, right?
Okay, is that what?
Yeah.
Okay.
And is that something we could do immediately and have a motion passed, or is it?
I'm sorry?
Is it possible to do that now? Can we
Today, no.
rewrite
Today,
the application?
There's
form?
nobody here to do it today. It's not that, it's that you're going to have to apply to him that you're applying for an addition to your home.
Yeah, you have to update your application.
That's, you know what I'm trying to say? It's not a deck extension.
No, and that wasn't our intention either. We
And it
weren't-
wasn't,
we
your
weren't trying to-
your intention wasn't to extend the deck.
No.
Okay. Well, you understand what we're reading, mostly is reading deck, and then we read the building inspector, who looked at your plans, and he said the same thing, it was a deck extension. And then you said in your thing, you said a porch, you know, so it's confusing. If you want to put a room in there, fine. I don't have a problem with it. But I wanted to,
Just to clarify, just to make it simple, and if I'm not speaking accurately, I could be corrected, but what the ZBA chairman is simply proposing to you is that we hold the public hearing open until next month, July, before the continued public hearing, that you submit materials just clarifying the description of what it is that you're seeking, and we'll continue the public hearing and then hopefully vote next month on it. That's all.
I
no,
understand.
which way do you want to go? It's up to you.
We'll wait till next month's hearing, right?
I'm sorry?
If you deny it, then we have to start from the beginning.
Well, if we deny it, then you got to start all over again
Right, we don't
and
want that.
go from that. So, I mean,
Stop that from happening to you.
Right.
you know,
So we
it's
will
up to you.
attend next
I'm just trying to
month's
help you.
hearing.
I'm not trying to
Right.
hurt you. If I was trying to hurt you, I would just go with the 2-2 vote, and that would be the end of it.
Let's
Okay?
roll it over to
It's just
the
not clear enough. I understand what you're trying to do, and I have no problem with it. But I just want to know, I want it down that what you're trying to do is what you're trying to do. You're not extending, you're not making a deck larger, you're putting an addition on. Okay?
We will amend the application
And you'll
see you
change
next
that,
month.
and we'll be all straight. And we'll see you next month.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you very much. Okay, any other business, old business, new business? No?
No, just a reminder, the next meeting is on the
20. July 20th, 2-0.
July 20th.
2-0 at 7:30, same place, same plot,
Okay,
same happy crew.
okay.
Okay. All right, I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.